With Josh Holliday as we get ready for another week of Cowboy baseball, and let's start with this, sort of your takeaways, the most important takeaways from the K-State series in Manhattan last weekend.
Well, it was another hard-fought conference weekend, which you certainly would expect, and interesting games. We had a hard-fought, tough one on Friday where we hung with them and ultimately grabbed a lead late, but they did a great job of rallying back in the bottom, was the 11th, and beating us in extra innings. So that was a tough one. Saturday's game, we never could really get anything going. Their starting pitcher, Jackson Wentworth, did a fine job of mixing his pitches and kept us off balance, and they did a good job on their side of things, on the offensive side, of kind of getting the lead and then expanding that lead. And we were really kind of backs against the wall on Sunday, but I thought our team responded really well and came out on Sunday and really good relief pitching, and then did just enough on offense to get out in front 6-4, and were able to hold on to that. So important to get the third game, especially after the way we gave up the first one, and then ultimately on Saturday when they won the series, we had to fight back, and we did that. So you take away from that the positive that the team continued to fight, and but again, you always wish you could go back and redo a thing or two. Last week was one of those weeks where a couple of tough losses on some games where we had some leverage late, but good ball clubs keep pushing you to the end, and you got to finish the job. And but hopefully the third game, the Sunday game, is turning the tide for us and getting us back going the right direction.
Many times, many seasons, this is about the time of year where you really get hot. What about this team makes you think that could happen? Where do you see the potential growth and improvement that could get you on one of those roles?
Well, a lot of positives to look at. One, we've been really stable with our starting pitching, in particular. Games 1 and 2 of the series, we've gotten quality starts. We've had really stable quality relief pitching. So anytime you're pitching it good, you're putting yourself in position to be competitive every game. If you catch it clean, which we've done for the most part, now you're really setting yourself up to be opportunistic on offense. And I think our best offensive stretch hopefully is what lies in front of us. And I think if we can do that and get a few guys back healthy, then that second half run or that back end of the season run that you talk about, so important to find, is definitely within our reach. I think too, this particular team has really, really fought to get through some of the adjustments that we've had to make as a ball club, and their identity has formed as a result of that. More depth has been developed, and the type of team that we are, type of team that we aspire to be, is one that keeps finding ways to win games. And I think because we've been through so many different things to this point in the year, we're going to be able to tap into those experiences down the stretch here and hopefully makes us a better team. But it'd be great to get a few guys back, some key members. Hopefully Aiden returns to us soon. Tyler Wolford hopefully heals up and returns to us soon to go along with the arsenal of players that we have. That'd be a good recipe for a strong finish.
Let's think about your freshmen, for example. I mean, obviously they were in the mix regardless. They've taken on an even greater role in this situation. And they've had a lot of at-bats and a lot of chances to play in the field, but do you see typically continued growth and maybe accelerated growth as we get into May and we head toward the end of the regular season, even if they've played a lot? Is that the process typically?
Yeah, I think for a couple of guys in particular have accumulated a good number of at-bats. Colin Ritchie's been able to do so, playing both right field, left field, and some third base. Avery's accumulated a lot of really important at-bats, playing a lot of second and some third. With that increased number of plate appearances, you hope the adjustments have been made. You hope their comfort level and their mental skills have started to catch up to their physical abilities. That's a big adjustment going from high school to college. Charlie's gotten some quality innings behind the plate, and we have some other good young freshman players that are really pushing to help. I think the midway point in the season, they don't feel like freshmen anymore. They start to feel like, hey, I'm kind of over the adjustment period. I believe in myself. I've seen enough games now to understand how this is going. And that's when I think you see guys step forward and say, I'm ready to kind of dig in with both feet here. My self-doubt is gone. My self-confidence is high. And I believe I can help us down the stretch here. So you're always looking to find a silver lining. And when some of the older players that maybe had earned everyday jobs coming out of the fall get hurt, these younger guys have stepped in and done a great job. And they're only going to get better with time.
So it is a different type of week because your series with BYU, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So how does that change preparation and what the week for the guys looks like?
Well, first order of business was to rest and recover, getting back from K-State, and get ready for the Tuesday game with Oral Roberts, and then obviously a very quick turnaround. The kids are used to 2 days off. We'll only have the 1 day off in between the Tuesday game and the weekend. So probably just cutting back just a tiny bit on the repetitions, knowing that we're in a good spot as far as our work at this point in the season. And then just getting ready to dial it up come Thursday, right? You know, it's a tighter week, but it's one of the unique challenges the schedule poses, and we've got to be able to handle it. So probably just cut back a little bit on the traffic and the amount of preparation going into those games and save the best energy we have for the game itself.
Does it impact how you play Tuesday's game? Because, I mean, with an eye on pitching and so forth, I mean, does it matter much, or
Yeah,
what's
I think,
the story?
Yeah, it does, because you can't get too extended or use any, if at all, some of the high leverage relief pitching that you need to have available on Thursday. So yeah, there's no doubt that the Tuesday game takes on a little different strategic role. Not that you don't play it to win, because you certainly do, but you might impact who gets the ball in those middle innings, and certainly having to save the right guys for the last out. That'll be a big part of how we strategize for Tuesday.
So another big week coming up in the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at O'Brate Stadium for the Cowboys and BYU. We'll see you next week.